I've decided that today is going to be the beginning of refocusing my life since we got back from Brazil. In another vlog, I think I had my angry face on and I was really grumpy, and it was because of quite a number of things, and one of the things was the frustration of it was a great experience being in Brazil, but it was quite a disruption to our lives, and I had quite a focus on a number of things in my life, and I had been working quite hard at them, and one of them was my music. And I'd released an album, but that's 4 years ago now, and I felt at the time the way to achieve certain things in your life is to make sure you stay focused. I'd read this book that was about how to get more done, but mostly in the book it talked about how to cross things off your list that you don't need to do. Another friend of mine has written a book called The Don't Need to Do List. Well, it's that idea that you can get more done by not faffing around with the things you don't really need to do, that you feel you need to do through social pressure, peer pressure, or whatever. But anyway, in this other book, there was an exercise where you draw a dot on a piece of paper and you have a pendulum that you hold over the dot, and then you make your eye go round in a circle, an imaginary circle around the dot, and automatically the pendulum starts swinging. And it was to demonstrate that if you focus on a particular thing, then subconsciously all your actions and your choices will go towards making that thing happen. And I have a day off work today. I'm coming to the end of that contract. I've got to go in for a couple of days to finish some things off and do a handover, but I am going to focus today on getting refocused. I might go for a walk, make some declarations to myself to get refocused on what I want to do with my music, just getting things restored in terms of the family, our finances, making sure Darcy's back on track, looking after our other extended family, my mum and dad, and generally thinking about what I want to do in life and making sure I'm not distracted by other people going, oh no, we really need you, but then not really utilising what you've got to offer. It's a drain on the resources, so I just want to be a bit more selective. I'm having a walk in this quite posh area of Cobham, not where we live, not far though. Got my shades on because although the sun's not shining, it's quite glary. It'd be nice if it was, because the future's so bright, you got to wear shades. There are some very big posh houses here. I think I might go down this little footpath that I used to walk down in my youth from my friend's house if we were having a sleepover to our school. It says bridle path, but it's also a footpath. So, been thinking and speaking out things that I'm feeling about what's going on in our lives. Birds are singing. Here's my old school. It's a primary school now. It used to be a secondary school, and it's where I went to school with my Brazilian friend who used to live just around the corner in one of those big posh houses. Now in a semi-posh area of Cobham, with beautiful gardens with flowers. Some lovely cute houses here as well, and then some council people cutting the grass there. And then over here we've got some council houses, cute little council houses that remind me of my grandma's house in Dundee when I was growing up. Although we lived in Edinburgh, like my grandma lived in Dundee. I was coming into a more built up area of the town that we live in, but I still feel the need to get some more things out, so I'm going to carry on walking for a bit. This is another memory from my youth. This is the house where my best friend, Debbie, who's not very well, grew up. We spent many hours at her house. She's got a swimming pool. She was my first friend that had a swimming pool, and that really hot summer of '76 we spent loads of afternoons there. I guess the important thing is I need to make sure that I put things in place to focus on. I need to decide what I'm going to focus on, and if I don't have those things, then my focus is just going to get filled with the other things that come in to distract. So I definitely want to focus on my music. There's been various times in my life where I've thought, yes, you know, my music has got distracted again, and I felt it needs to get restored, and I've worked on that. And it goes through cycles like that. It's difficult when you are a mom and you've got family and you need to go to put into the family purse. Other musicians seem to be able to focus really well, particularly men, I think. I think it's a challenge for women. Women tend to feel like they've got to make other things a priority. But I do need to make it a focus, and you can fit the other commitments around it anyway, but have that as a focus and then fit the other things around it. Another analogy I think is helpful is the analogy of like a jar, and say you've got rice and walnuts, for example, and you need to fit all the rice and all the walnuts into this jar. If you think, right, the rice is the most important things, all the day-to-day things that I need to do, and you put that in first, and then you put the other things that you want to do, like my music, in, and the walnuts would represent that, then you're not going to fit everything in. But if you put the main priorities in, and then you've, like all the walnuts, and then you fill up the rest of the space with the rice, it's all going to fit in. It's very nice sitting here, and the wind's calmed down. But I guess I better head back. We live in a beautiful part of the world. Look at this scene. This is the River Mole. It's very pretty. It's by a very busy road. Yeah, if you can hear me above the traffic, this is where we come to feed the ducks. Got a phone call in the middle of that lost shot, so I don't know if it's saved. And they're renovating all this. They've got some decking up. They're turfing some new area.